Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So, sitting down, recording this episode, and really excited to talk about this kind of like thought or topic that has come to my head over the past couple of days. And I have like so many random thoughts from so many conversations with one-on-one clients through Messenger, through voice message, and all of this. Since I'm talking to clients, every single day, and it got me to think, like, okay, in the most simplest way, what are the maybe two things that people are missing, like everyday people walking around, as to why they can't see the results that they want when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to seeing their body composition change, when it comes to seeing more muscle tone, muscle shape, health, whatever it is. And, I really try to like simplify this stuff because then it's easier to grasp, right? It's easier to just understand and comprehend. And then if you can comprehend and understand why you're not seeing results and what are the most simplest ways as to why you aren't seeing results, then making the change to actually start seeing results, while it might not be easy, it becomes more simple, right? Because there's this big pool of noise in the fitness and fat loss and weight loss industry of so many wrong recommendations, so many people telling you to do this, do that. And, social media has gotten to a point where it is just getting worse and worse and worse with the way the algorithm works, where it feeds into a lot of comments and it feeds into negativity, really, really polarizing takes. And it's like there are people out there saying things that just either simply are not true or are complete over exaggeration. And they're not even saying it necessarily because they don't know what they're talking about, but they're saying it because they know if they over exaggerate it, it's going to get more clicks, it's going to get more views, and so on. So there's so much misinformation. But when it comes to seeing long-term fat loss and weight loss and keeping it off long-term, the two simplest things that you are missing, and really anybody who is struggling to do this, they're missing one of these two things or both. Number one is simply what to do, the right thing to do to see results. And then number two is accountability in some way to do it for a long enough period of time to get there. Like, those are the two things. That is I don't know if you want to call it a definition, but those are the two big reasons why people don't see results long term. They don't know what to do and they don't have the accountability to do it long term. Like, that's it. That's what it comes down to. So if you're trying to find a way to actually see results long term and you're struggling with this, if you fix those two things, you're going to make progress long term. Like, it's really as simple as that. Now, it's not easy, and there are so many nuances with this, right? But if you dial it down to the simplest form, you either don't know what to do, and you have the accountability to do something, but you are doing the wrong thing, right? Or you know what to do, but you don't have the accountability to actually do it for a long period of time, or maybe both, right? You don't know what to do and you still don't have accountability. Either way. And here are some specific examples of this, right? So let's say you have a person who, and this might be you, who, once you really commit to something, like, you can do it. Like, let's say if someone's like, hey, we're going to cut out sugar, right? I'm going to commit to it. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm going to do it for a month. And I'm usually successful with it. Like, let's say that this is you talking to yourself. But then you do it for a month and you don't see results, right? That's not necessarily you needing accountability in a sense. You might think you need accountability because you stop doing it after a month. And then, any results, any small results, maybe you gained it back, but maybe you just stopped and you're like, oh, I should have done it longer. But if you do it for a month straight and you successfully stick with it, then accountability isn't necessarily your issue. But your issue is you don't know what to do, because cutting out sugar for a month, while it's like in the fitness world, a lot of people think it's a good idea and it's going to help with fat loss, it doesn't necessarily translate directly to fat loss. Like, if somebody tells me, hey, I've been cutting out sugar to lose weight, in my head, it registers as, okay, I don't really know what to do to lose weight. I'm trying these kind of random tactics that I think are going to lead to, weight loss and fat loss, but like, cutting out sugar isn't a direct path to fat loss necessarily. So that is one scenario. And it could be cutting out sugar. It could be, hey, I've done intermittent fasting, or I've done keto, or I've just tried to generally eat healthy. Those things all fall into the bucket of, if your goal is an immediate, direct, controllable fat loss, you don't really know what to do. So that is kind of scenario example one. I don't know what to do, but I have some self accountability where if I commit to something, I can actually do it. Same thing could go with like workouts, right? I have so many people who talk to me about coaching, and they want to get more tone, they want more shape, they want more muscle definition, and they are maybe just doing a lot of HIIT style workouts or doing a lot of cardio, and they're consistent with it, and they've been consistent with it for multiple weeks and months, but they're not seeing the results, right? And that comes down to not knowing what to do to actually get the defined body, toned body that you want, which obviously is like a structured, well thought out lifting resistance training program. So that's kind of one example. Let's say you know what to do, but you just need accountability. That is the person who, okay, they know exactly how many calories they should be eating. They know exactly how to make the right adjustments to their calories week to week or every few weeks if things aren't working. They know how to implement what I recommend first before a fat loss phase, a priming phase, building your calories up. They know how to implement diet breaks every 2 to 3 months maybe to help kind of reset the system, especially psychologically when it comes to fat loss. They know how to increase those calories into a diet break. They know how to then, once they've done that, go back into a fat loss phase. They know how to track their food accurately. They know how to build their calories back up to maintenance after they've lost the weight. They know exactly what workout program to do, but they just simply cannot do it with just self-accountability. That is that other example. And I would say that's probably the most rare example out of all of them, that somebody knows exactly what to do, but they just won't do it. It is a thing though. Like, there are people out there who just like know exactly what they need to do, but when it's up to themselves, like they just kind of self-sabotage themselves, and they need that outside person, the outside accountability, the outside coach to keep them accountable from kind of ruining their own progress basically by, making changes too soon or this or that. And even that you could probably tie into that they don't know what to do if they're going to do that. But that would be like the closest example of that. And that's why like a lot of fitness coaches actually do have their own coaches sometimes, even when it comes to like fat loss. Like there's a lot of coaches that I know that are really great coaches who have their own fitness and nutrition coach too, because it just helps having that extra, accountability, having somebody else lay out the plan. It also helps you to like not have to think about what adjustments to make yourself, which is like kind of a very intensive task for your mind to do on a weekly basis or every couple of weeks. Like, I think like sometimes people don't realize how much thought like I give or Katie gives into our clients and like monitoring their body weight over a span of multiple weeks, monitoring like how their progress pictures are looking, monitoring like all of the subjective feedback they give us as far as like how their clothes are fitting. There's so much thought that goes into, okay, like this is how this person felt, a week ago. This is how they feel this week. This is how they felt 3 weeks ago. This is how their body weight is moving. This is how their progress pictures are changing. Maybe this adjustment, would be better for them based on their height, their weight, their past experience with dieting. Maybe this adjustment is actually better than, like, people don't understand the mental thought that goes into that, along with like, in order to have those mental thoughts in general, you have to have a lot of background knowledge, and you have to keep up with the science and the research frequently too. Like, there are so many kind of new strategies that I've been open to from just continuously learning more, that if I wasn't spending the time doing that, I wouldn't have gone that route. Like, bringing somebody's step goal up to higher than 10,000, maybe at 12,000. Like, that is something that I wasn't really open to, I would say, maybe like a year or two ago. Like, I just was like, 10,000 is a lot. But, the longer I've been doing this, the more I learn, I realize, hey, like, some people, if they're already really lean and they're smaller stature and they're shorter, they might need 13,000 steps per day in order to keep their calories from going super low in order to lose body fat. Like, so there's so much that goes into that. Which is, I know I'm kind of going on a rant here, but that's why like some coaches even have their own coaches, because they don't have to think about themselves, think about that for themselves, and they're able to be more objective with it. So that's kind of the second scenario. You know what to do, but you just need accountability. And the third is you don't know either one, or you don't have either one. You don't know what to do, and you don't have any outside accountability, which actually is probably the most common one. Very rarely can somebody just know, like if I were to just give them a game plan with no accountability along with it, that they would be able to follow it to a T. Like, because those thoughts are going to run in your head. Like you're going to have a few days where the weight in the scale maybe doesn't move, or maybe it spikes up because of water retention, and you're going to get inside your own head. And if you don't have that kind of outside of accountability to continue with the plan and keep going, or the outside person to talk to for support, for psychological, support there, you're going to end up self-sabotaging yourself, giving up, and all of that. So that's the most common scenario, is like you don't know what to do, and you also like don't have any outside accountability. And this is where, you talk to people, or I've talked to people where they, are trying all of those things. Like I mentioned, keto, intermittent fasting, just trying to generally eat healthier, just trying to eat maybe smaller portions, but they have no idea how many calories they're eating or protein. Maybe they're not even lifting weights. And then on top of that, they're trying to do those things, but they maybe do it for like a week or two, and then they fall off, and they do it for a week or two. So now you have a double whammy of like, you're not even being consistent with the things that don't really work, but then you also don't know what works either. And that's the most common. And like, I wish there was a perfect solution for this that was just like simple, quick, and easy. But the reality is the only way to get over that, like from my full experience, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a coach, but is to have a coach for a long period of time at least. Because the coach is going to teach you, whether maybe it's not even me or Katie, it's somebody else. They're going to teach you, if it's a qualified coach, how to, like, what to do, right? They're going to teach you the right things to do over a long period of time, whether you're in a fat loss phase, a maintenance phase, a diet break, navigating the holidays, a vacation, whatever it is. They're going to teach you the right things to do, what to do, right? That aspect. But they're also going to be there to, hold you accountable, to have some accountability to actually follow through with the plan for a long period of time. And then eventually when you do that long enough, hopefully at least, that accountability, that outside accountability you have from a coach leads to you being consistent, which then leads to you changing your lifestyle over a long period of time, which then leads to all these things becoming a part of you and becoming like an actual habit for you. And then you've built all this knowledge of you knowing what to do. So now you have all these habits in place, and now you know what to do. And then when you get to that point, now you're like, okay, I've achieved my goal too. I do these things naturally now. I know what to do to maintain my results. And now you're good to coast, right? And a lot of times that takes longer than what people think. People think they can do coaching for like 3 months, 4 months and get there. No, that's going to take longer. Most people even think 6 months is long enough. And I would say, I've been coaching since 2017. So it's been 8 years. And from that, and from all the research I've done of like, what are the most effective programs to get people to actually change their behavior? Like, 6 months is even a really short period of time, especially if you've had these bad behaviors or you've gone years of your life without knowing actually what to do. Most times it takes longer than that. But when you put those two pieces together and you do it for a long period of time, that's where the magic really happens. So, I say this because I have so many conversations with people who tell me this is so important to them. Like, on our coaching application, there's a question that's like, how important is this on a scale of 1 to 10? And I can't tell you how many people will say 10, or they'll say even 100. They'll give me a higher number than that. And I think out of just straight fear, a fear of it maybe not working, or fear of them not following through, they won't take the leap and join one-on-one coaching. And then they're stuck in that same position where they don't know what to do and they don't have accountability. And you'll never get to your result in that spot. You just never will. And it breaks my heart and kills me every time, like, I talk with somebody. I'm like, this would be so good for you. This would be perfect for you. And they don't do it. And because I've seen all the good it can do for all of our clients, like, who are crushing it, seeing such good results. Like, I see just how much happier all of these women are. And then I see these people that I talk to, and out of fear, like I said, they don't take the leap. And then months go by, even over a year goes by, and they're still like searching for answers, and it's like the answer was right in front of you the whole time. And yeah, it's scary, and yeah, it's not easy necessarily to take that leap and believe in yourself that you'll actually follow through. But it's like that leap of faith, and then having that coach in your corner and committing to something like that is the one thing that's actually going to get you to the result that you want. So it's like people are almost waiting for the result to come before they start coaching because they are unsure, but it's like you can't have it that way, right? It has to be the other way first. Like the leap of faith, the action has to come before the result actually comes. So hopefully this was kind of eye-opening a little bit. Just kind of think about it in a more simple way. Like if you are not seeing the results you want, it comes down to these two things, and it's because you don't have both of them. You maybe have either or. You don't know what to do, and you don't have the accountability. Like it's really that simple. So hopefully this was helpful. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.